If you're a business owner wondering how to promote yourself without feeling pushy, if you've ever struggled to make your business stand out in a traditional industry, or if you're curious about how using your story and values strategically can actually attract the right clients. I'm Laura, co-founder and managing director of Fresh Perspective Resourcing, and today we're talking about personal brand visibility and what it really takes to market yourself and your business in a way that feels authentic, especially in industries that can sometimes feel traditional or set in their ways. So joining me today is Francesca McClory, founder of Future Cloud Accounting. She's built her business from the ground up 7 years ago and is extremely passionate about challenging outdated behaviours in traditional and stereotypical practices, putting customer care at the heart of everything she does and building a team that truly reflects her values. She is proof that marketing just isn't about tactics, it's about identity, consistency and courage. And we'll be diving into how she's intentionally built her reputation, positioned her business differently within the accounting world, and used her values, story, and customer first approach as a powerful marketing tool. So, Francesca, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, that is so nice. Getting all that background info. Absolutely love it. Couldn't have said it better myself.
I know we almost need this little intro every day, don't we? Get up in the morning and have a little intro like that, and it'll set you up right for the rest of your week, wouldn't
God,
it?
that's such a good idea. Do you do it?
You'll just have to play the beginning of the podcast every day. We'll just snip it for you.
I love that. I think that's a really good idea. Genuinely.
Right, well, we'll do it. I'll get Rachel to do it after the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, but thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. It's lovely. It's lovely to see. It's been a while since we spoke, so we've had a little bit of a catch up, pressing record.
Yeah, no, it's nice to be asked to go on these things, to be fair. And it's so easy to forget that you can share your story and it helps so many people, doesn't it? And it helps me in a weird way. You know, even like the social media stuff, it's therapy. I just do therapy.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. We're both quite open, aren't we, on social media? And I think that it is like therapy because you can be authentically yourself, open and honest. And what better way is there to be really than trying to pretend that you're someone else? It's exhausting and tricky to navigate all the time.
It's so true.
But yeah, it's nice. I'm really excited to find out more because I already know a lot about you. So I'm excited to find out more and for everybody else listening to take some tips away because I think talking about things like this really makes you realise and reflect on what you actually do. And you don't realise how, like you said, how helpful it is for other people because it's just something now that you do all the time. Other people listening will be like, oh my goodness, I never even thought about doing that. Simple things sometimes that can make a massive difference.
Oh, 100%.
So for those that don't know you, and maybe are not on LinkedIn and live under a rock, can you tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you do?
Who am I? So I am Francesca. I co-founded Future Cloud Accounting originally. However, it was my vision. I'm going to say that now. I'm going to be really brutally honest. It was my vision.
That.
I'm going to own it. The reason why I did co-found the business with somebody is because I shared my vision and they were on the same page at the time with that idea. So I've built an accounting practice or business, I don't like to say practice actually, that I'm running quite different to the traditional accounting model, where you have your partners or the directors in the business and you know the book stops with them. I'm building a bit of a digital strategy business that will help all clients feel comfortable with their accountant and all the team members can grow and be their true selves and not put on this professional persona because you have to do that to get clientele or get respect. And I just think that's a load of rubbish. So I've built a business from the ground up, literally didn't take any clients from my previous role. And what I decided to do back 7 years ago was to start on social media.
So that was right from the beginning?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I started
That's so
working.
interesting because it kind of comes later for a lot of businesses, doesn't it?
Potentially, yeah, it does actually. And I started to share the journey and I need to do this with my next venture, but I'll explain. The reason why that was so hard at the time, because my backstory is I've got 2 kids and with 2 because I've had two like different dads for the kids and a bit of like embarrassing backstory for an accountant, I suppose. It's
Why is it
like
why embarrassing though?
I found that I felt very embarrassed and didn't like many people knowing when where I used to work, my background,
Oh.
because I'm not your typical go to uni, get married, do your like all your accounting all at the same time at that, when you're younger. I came in at a later age, wasn't married, went with toxic, men. Don't know, I just felt really embarrassed to be honest. And I felt like I was never going to be taken seriously before.
But
So for me to be brave on social media took a lot because I knew all the ex-boyfriends would see it and all my ex-colleagues and who are you to do that because you haven't done it, you've not gone down this road to get there sort of thing. You haven't done the traditional route.
yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Because you used the word professional before, how you that you don't like. It's like who decided that this word professional? Because I wouldn't say we're professional, which is mad. We are a professional services business, but to me, what the word professional means is corporate, dull, serious. They're not, and then none of the attachments or connotations to the word professional mean anything about being good at what you do, delivering a customer service, being human, which are actually the traits that you need to be good at business. And it's that
Exactly.
word professional that probably made you feel
Yeah.
embarrassed.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
anxious. I remember being in my the old job I was in, which took me 2 attempts to get in because I wanted to learn everything about accounting at like a top 30 firm at the time. I was so excited and buzzing when they finally gave me an opportunity. But as soon as I was behind them doors, my anxiety and was through the roof. Just
Oh.
yeah, they're very firm account. They're just the typical accountant with, you're seen, not heard. I suppose I don't know. It was interesting, an interesting time. I'd never change it for the world. I learned under a really good biz practice. Their standards are so high, which our standards are high. This is the thing, because I don't maybe look a certain way or act a certain way, doesn't mean our work isn't professional and
Yeah,
good.
I know what you mean. It's the same with us. Like we don't wear shoes in the office. Like we wear t-shirts. I don't even own a suit. And like people,
Yeah,
ages ago, a woman run a network event. She's like, you need to come suited, Laura, because you need to dress for the people you want to attract. I'm like, I'm not really bothered about whether my clients
yeah,
wear suits. And if they're
yeah.
bothered about stuff like that, then they're maybe not the right clients for
Go
me.
on.
And she looks at me like I just told her I wanted to set fire to all networking people. And I'm like,
So
so
true.
I carried on going in my jeans and my Converse, like
Yeah,
t-shirts. But you use the word comfortable before, that you want your clients to feel comfortable. I think that's really important because you obviously didn't feel comfortable in a professional industry with all the societal norms and traditional stereotypes.
yeah,
Do you think that's why you didn't feel comfortable and that obviously rocketed your anxiety? And is
yeah,
that why it's so important to you now to have created a business that's different and for your
yeah.
clients to feel comfortable with you?
Yeah, no, that's so true. And yeah, that is so true. I didn't feel comfortable a lot of the time. Certain people I did. It's always about the vibe around certain people. And what I realized is the accountants in the room had such good personality as a giggle, but as soon as you're in front of certain people, they hide it and
Yeah.
become really small, I suppose. And but it's given me loads of lessons. So that is part of my backstory, is working in a corporate environment, putting myself in uncomfortable conversations and situations, putting myself out there with clients, even though internally I thought, are they going to take me seriously? All built ready for running my own business with two kids, with a toxic background, ex boyfriend's drama that I've come away from. And the kids are older now, obviously. But I also my background was coming away from tax credits as a single parent and really believing that I can achieve more and earn more and taking the steps to do that, which has
No,
built the business as well.
absolutely. It is such an inspiring story, and I think you're inspiring to a lot of people because you really share your story, and your journey online, and an inspiration to your children as well, which is amazing because you've done it in spite of them, because of them, for them, and you just, pushed on throughout the years, genuinely staying true to yourself, which must have been difficult given
Yeah.
how you felt. You mentioned that you felt embarrassed, and I get what you mean. Like, we both come from toxic backgrounds with
Yeah.
gangs. I
Yeah.
was in a controlling and verbally abusive marriage, and then when that broke down in 2014, I felt ashamed, probably similar to you, felt embarrassed because I really felt like you're only supposed to do it once. But it was the catalyst to me wanting to set up fresh with Emily, my sister, in 2016.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't go straight to social media. I almost tried to do it quietly first because I
Yeah.
didn't, similar reasons. You don't want people to see and think,
Yeah.
well, you
What's
were
she
a,
doing?
yeah, you were a shell of a woman like not a year ago. What makes you think you can run a business?
Yes.
And I'm like, well,
Exactly that.
yeah, and I'm like, well, that thought process is what's fueling me. So watch
Yeah.
out, watch this space. So I
Yeah.
totally get what you mean when you say embarrassed. And I genuinely, passionately sit here and think you have nothing to be embarrassed about. But I
Yeah.
totally get why you
Why I
felt it.
would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because not being in exactly the same situation, but something similar, and it's the catalyst, isn't it? Sometimes that spurs you on to do what you want to do and make a genuine difference. So really, we
Oh.
have our toxic backgrounds to thank
Yeah, we
for the
do.
upstanding pillars of the business community that we are today.
I know, because it does actually take guts to leave,
Yeah,
come away, change. And any advice I can give out there is stop blaming outside external factors and look internally, for anything that you want.
yeah,
I've achieved it because I looked internally and started blaming myself for everything.
yeah.
Even with the toxic partners, it's like, well, I chose to be with them.
I
So,
stayed. Yeah, I stayed. Made that choice. Yeah, and you've got the chance to look at why you did that and those mistakes and just not make them again.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And then share the journey on social media. That is the
absolutely.
biggest thing to do, share this journey.
So you've talked a little bit about not following a typical career path. Um, how did you? But can you tell a little bit more about how did you end up setting up? What was the reason? So you worked in an accountancy practice, and pushed through the anxiety and feelings of imposter syndrome and things like that, which is amazing. How did you end up where you are today with Future Cloud?
So I studied when I was 25, two small kids to get my AAT, which is the accountancy career path that you can go down.
Mm.
And that took 3 years, graduated at 29. Then I started the business at 34. Um, I think the reason, I don't know, I just took a leap of faith. I just kept visualizing a team, what I would do differently. And it's like almost putting your money where your mouth is then, love. I wasn't earning.
This
I
can be
wasn't
done better.
Yeah, because things that can always be done better, even in my business now, and that's the difference. A lot of business owners don't allow themselves to believe there's things that can be done better. They just think, well, it's working. Yeah, but could you be earning more if you just tweaked this and tweaked that? Or they've hired someone they've been with us 5 years. Yeah, but are they bringing results? Are you feeling guilty by keeping them on? So there's all those sorts of things that I've got that headspace for. So I took a leap of faith and I wasn't earning masses of money. And I remember asking for a pay rise a year before I was going to set up. And I didn't know I was setting up the year before. And the anxiety for asking for a pay rise. And I think there's a
Yeah.
problem when you have to ask for pay rises, there's something not right anyway, because obviously something's not clear. They're not just believing in me. Maybe I wasn't showcasing it enough. So then I decided to think, well, look, I'm not, they did give me the pay increase, but it still wasn't right. And I learned so much because I was so determined that I knew I could run with Making Tax Digital, which was the VAT element at the time, all the digital apps like Zero. I knew it inside and out. I learned it for a couple of years. I was probably one of the only ones that was so interested in it back then. And
Early
then
adopter.
yeah, an early adopter, even though they were trying to learn it, I was really on it. And then met my business partner at one of my networking events and told her my vision about a cool accountancy business. And she was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And she's chartered. So she went on to do further studies. And I thought, oh my God, I need her. And then we just, bam, came together in 2019. And I did all the sales, market delivery, obviously still servicing clients with the bookkeeping, VAT returns, tax returns, but I was very clear on how to grow a business, was you can't be in it. You can't be in it all the time. To start
Yeah.
with, yes.
You can't do both things properly.
Yeah. So then I was like, I'm going to share the journey on LinkedIn. I thought I'm going to sit in a car. I'm going to do a
Oh my God.
video and just no edits, no edits. And I thought, right, what hashtag can I use? And I'll use it on every single post, which I did at the time for about 2 to 3 years. And it was hashtag the journey is real. And I was just known for that kind of thing. And my DJ Fran days. Oh.
God, I remember the DJ Fran days.
God, I don't even like the name Fran. Oh, I'm Francesca now.
I'd forgotten about those.
Yeah,
They were amazing. And but I remember them, and I'll remember all your car videos, and you just started to document everything. That's how I knew about you, from seeing that, and you were consistent. You didn't just do it once and then didn't come back for weeks. You did it when you said
all
you
the
were going to
time,
do it. So
all
for
the
DJ
time,
Fran was a regular thing, and you showed up every day,
every day. I
really
went lot.
real, and
Yeah,
it was unlike anything I'd ever seen on LinkedIn. Yeah, it was
that's so
what
nice to hear. And you know what's so funny? So I was like, we need hoodies, and I think there was probably two, not maybe none on LinkedIn, but I bet not many were wearing hoodies as accountants until I shared the journey on LinkedIn, and then other people started doing it, and they were using the guy that embroidered our tops. And I started being influenced by what I was going to say. And then before I know it, I'm a thought leader. And I was being asked to speak on this and come to this event. And I bloody thought, I didn't even know what a thought leader was. I didn't even know personal branding was a thing. Do you know what I mean? And I'm
yeah,
this big thought leader that even old school firms that have got, 1,000 clients were looking up to me and asking me questions on how they should run their business. What can they do differently? Because I didn't realize what I've got is that mindset of growth, resilience, which has come from all my background stuff that's gone
yeah,
on. And that is what's kept the business changing, adapting. And when I used to wear hoodies and that, I am now in my formal suit era. You're going to think this is crazy.
what?
Yeah. So if I go to an event, I'll still wear jeans and that, but I'm doing a blend of, I don't know. I like a nice jacket now. I do like a suit. It's got to be cool and different suit, not this black or stripes. And I think I like that you can change and you should.
Yeah,
I think I
absolutely.
feel like I'm grown into. I still wear my comfies and whatnot, but I do. I like the fact that I want to be presented in a really cool, trendy, formal way now for my speaking things. And I don't know, I just think it's great that you can change. Like I've gone from being called Fran, but saying to people I prefer Francesca now.
Yeah.
And
But you
that's
do
good.
evolve. Yeah, you like, oh God, I mean, I don't mean this egotistically, but maybe I do.
Go
But
on.
I think I'm like fine wine. I do think I get better with age. I
Yes.
look back at some pictures of myself. I'm like, what on earth was I wearing then? I'm like, oh my
Brilliant.
God. So like, yeah, and so when I do speaking engagements now, I will like put a nice top on and my boots, and I still don't own a nice pair of pants. But I'm always in jeans, but a nice pair of jeans. But I know what you mean. I think you're comfortable in the hoodies, and I think
Yeah.
as an accountant in a stereotypical industry where everyone's suited, everyone's in a black or a navy suit, everyone looks the
Yeah.
same, everyone looks unapproachable and closed off and like they're better than you.
Yeah.
And it's same in recruitment. I think people envisage with you recruiters think pinstripe suit, tan shoes, massive watch. And so we both wanted to completely disrupt that
Same.
norm, which we did with our casual dress and our approach to
Yeah.
marketing and doing and running our businesses in our respective industries differently.
Yeah.
But then you start to figure out who you are, and
Yeah.
you start to really realize that you're really good at what you do.
Yeah.
You know your stuff. You've got a lot to pass on and impart, and you become confident,
Yeah.
and that resilience starts to really shine through. And then you start to dress differently and you start to behave differently because I think you suddenly realize who you are, what you stand for, and that you're really fucking good.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it. I've grown and developed, and maybe I felt uncomfortable in the suits or the formal wear because it gave off a different, I don't know, I probably was more uncomfortable than the actual look.
Yeah, it just wasn't who you were at the time.
Yeah, exactly that, and
It
I've
wasn't
definitely
your
changed.
shell, 'cause it's like your outerwear, your uniform,
Yeah,
it protects you a lot of the
yeah,
time. You didn't want that, you wanted it from the inside out.
yeah,
Almost. You didn't need the
yeah,
outside shell. You knew who you were inside, and that's what you wanted to reflect outwards. I think you put it on
100%.
as armor, don't you? Your clothes, your
Yeah,
makeup, your hair, and I do think that's why it changes, because sometimes it's there to protect you and make you feel safe, and other times it's there to project how you feel and your personality. So that I do think that's how it changes,
and what
which is
people
fab.
loved on LinkedIn when I started posting was that I would do the no makeup videos, and I didn't realise the impact, and that took
Yeah.
guts from me, I'm not gonna lie, but then I got more
Oh my
confident.
goodness, you were so brave to do that, but like, when you say, "Oh, I've got no makeup," da, 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 and you're like, "As but I would never," you never think, "Oh, she can tell she's got no makeup on." You just
Really?
listen to who you are. It wasn't a conscious thought. And then when you said it, I'm like, "Oh my god, but she looks mint." And then, like you
Mm,
said earlier when we were chatting before we started, like, there is so much pressure, isn't
there
there?
is, there is. It's all, and that's probably what holds women and men back. They will assume you've gotta look
Yeah,
pristine for social media or and it's not true. You've gotta sound good. You've gotta be short, sharp, get the point across. They use it as an excuse.
yeah.
"Oh, she's only getting all the likes because she looks good."
You've got the personality of a pebble. They're not
Yeah.
gonna people are not gonna come back.
No, and then you get the wrong audience and your
Yeah,
money won't go up. So I didn't know this. I assumed that people had a good following on social media meant they were earning money,
yeah, yeah,
until I realised very quickly when you can look on Company's House, they're not. And I was like, "Oh my God, they're not making any money and they're posting the same selfies looking, you know," and I'm like, "That's not gonna make you money. Stop doing that. That's
yeah.
not getting you anywhere."
Just gets you the ego metrics, doesn't it? Yeah.
Which I love
Yeah,
a bit
we've
of
all been there.
validation.
We're like, "Oh my god, my post has got, like, 12 likes," but then, like, over 1,000 people have seen it, and you're like, "It's okay. It's alright."
Yeah, I have to do a lot of self-reassurance though. I didn't realise the dopamine hit I was gonna get from social media though. And
Yeah.
it's literally can burn you out. It really
Oh,
can, but I love it.
it can, and it stresses you out because you get used to a certain level, and then all of a sudden, if something bombs for a bit, or I don't
Yeah,
know, an algorithm change or half term, and
yeah,
people are not liking your stuff, and I think it doesn't bother me as much now, but it really impacted me when it first
yeah.
started to happen, because you're building, 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 and all of a sudden you get a crash.
I
You're like,
know.
"What? What's
Yeah.
happened? Oh my god, everyone hates me. I may as well give up."
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, and I see that people post that on LinkedIn. I'm like, just trust the process. You
Trust the
don't give up.
process.
And if after 6 months, let's say all your posts are bombing, let's say it was, and you're not getting anything in, definitely need to change something up, and that's good. And sometimes less is more. You know what? With LinkedIn as well, what was working 6 years ago, 4 years ago, is not working now.
Yeah.
So
God, we used to post like 4 times a day. You wouldn't do that now.
did you?
Yeah, like in,
Wow.
2020. Yeah,
Shit, I didn't know you did that.
yeah. Well, because we just had no idea what we were doing, and we started
Well,
to really use it properly in COVID because we had nothing else to do because
yeah, of
no one wanted
course.
any
No, I get it.
recruitment. So we just pushed. That's really where we started to use LinkedIn properly, share pictures of ourselves. We
Love.
started doing video properly. Well, not properly, but like actually doing video. And even to that, up to that day, I've always used LinkedIn it was created. I've kind of just used it to post jobs and use it as a database for cold calling when I used to work for agencies. And then we got fresh and we just posted our jobs, and I look back on some of the messages I used to send candidates and just cringe.
Yeah,
And then in COVID, we just started to post pictures of ourselves and videos, and then all of a sudden I just started to be myself and just to talk how I talk normally. And I used to always be worried about what people think. Can I
yeah.
say this? Can I say that? What if people don't like it? What if I sound stupid? I need to be professional.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, it kind of, and then it's just kind of gone from there. And now we post once a day. If I don't post one day, I don't beat myself up, whereas I used to be like, "Oh my
Exactly.
god, I've not got a post out," and
Yeah.
it's so weird how it evolves.
Yeah, it's so true, and this is why you've gotta be careful you're not just making a load of noise
Yeah,
just to say, "I've done something today." Less is more. So you know what we've done with Steve, my husband, just to give a bit of background?
yeah,
He's dipped in on LinkedIn now and again, and I said to him, "You need to have a bit more of a thought leadership style." and he did all the sharing the journey on TikTok of of his paddle build. And I said, that's really great content. You know, we need to do more of that. Anyway, he did it on LinkedIn. He posts twice a week about his paddle build. And in a month, he gained 2,000 followers.
Wow, that's
And we had a
amazing. That just
target
goes
on
to
our
show,
vision.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's quality over quantity.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is
Is
what
it
we're doing.
is it still weird calling him your husband?
Yeah. No, that wasn't weird, but it was. In fact, for the first 3, 4 months, I cringed hard. I was like, do you find that weird?
Yeah, so what is it? I got married in July. So how many what is that
Last
now?
year?
I don't know. Yeah, and
That's
I
crazy.
still find it weird saying my husband.
Yeah. You've been married
Yesterday
before.
what?
You was married before as
I was
well.
married before, married in 2013, divorced in 2014, and then I got with Pete that year. Later, at the end of that year, I already knew him, and then we were together 10 years before he popped the question. So I was so
Oh,
shocked. So we got married last year, but
oh.
like yesterday, I was asking someone about an EV point. I'm like, "Oh, you need to speak to my no husband. He's my husband now." It still feels weird in my mouth.
Really? No, I've took to it all right now, but at the beginning, I definitely felt really icky. Just even saying it in front of Steve, I got all embarrassed.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
It is. Why are we like this?
I've no idea, but I'm glad it's not just me.
No, it's not. And this is another thing is even these conversations and me owning my quirks, my weirdness as such, I've still built a really good business model. And it's like, don't take my daftness for weakness or
Yeah.
I haven't got a clue. And this is why I want to this is probably why you have to change your content as well. Because it's all well and good doing all the silly content forever and more. Because I do like the DJ Fran days.
And I love your TikToks as well.
Do you? I'm amount of times I'm telling Bella, I can't do it anymore. It's not like stop. Let's stop doing this for a time. She's like, no,
I
it's
love
driving
them.
the.
It is because I think your content is good. Like, I know who you are. And I really relate to who you are because you shared your story and it's kind of similar to mine. So I relate to you on that level. I love the high rock stuff and the running, the fitness and the strength and all the nutrition stuff. So I'm interested and I'm engaged with you. And then you talk about what you do as a business. So I know you're
Yeah,
really good at what you do.
yeah,
And the longevity that you've displayed shows that other people believe that you are good at what you
yeah.
do. But then the TikToks and the Insta reels show me keep continually showing me the softer, more fun side of you. So I do think
Okay.
collectively as a package,
Yeah,
not everyone's going to like everything, and no one
yeah,
can get away from the fact that you're good at what you do. And if they don't like who you are as a person, they can make the choice not to work with you. But no one can ever take away from you that you are good at what you do. But
no, I
you are
appreciate that.
unique, and you do have quirks
Yeah, no,
and weirdness, and so do
yeah,
I. But I
yeah,
think that's what makes us, isn't it? And
yeah.
we won't appeal to everybody. That's why I think the way that you market yourself is amazing because people know absolutely if you're for them or not and can filter themselves in or out.
Yeah, no, it is. It's so true. I want to share more of I've started sharing a bit more of figure work of how I've grown the business, the leadership side. I want to share valuable stuff as well.
Yeah.
And I would, if I was helping another business, I'd get to know them and I know what content style I'd give them. I'd say have the humour side. Obviously, I would. But after doing it for so long, I get bored and then I'm like, I want to do something fresh on a Friday, which might be instead of on a Friday doing my funny humour stuff, I might just do a raw video
Yeah.
and a bit of an
Yeah.
update on the new business sort of style stuff and then
Yeah.
share that journey. Because if you can do the most uncomfortable thing on social media and stick to it, it will fly because you'll learn something, even if it doesn't work.
Yeah, you'll learn something and people respect it, I think. Because, like, that's a big part of what I'm so glad we're talking about this because this is what I really wanted to talk about with you. Because the way that you've approached your marketing strategy, I think is absolutely unique in your industry. But I just think it's so unique overall. Like not many people do it. And like I know when you said I'm just going to start posting in the car on LinkedIn. Like was it intentional that your approach to marketing was going to be the total opposite to what people expect from your sector?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why, and I will never forget doing my first video, I think I was sat at my kitchen table on this one to say that I've gone self-employed. I was physically shaking underneath. No one sees that
Oh
with
my
me. Yeah,
god. Yeah,
like
they don't, do they? Don't see that before you switch to record, no one sees you freaking out.
no. And I thought,
The deep breathing.
the deep breathing and the bravery it takes to go on social media. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to say that I'm going to go to this networking event and I'll tag the networking event. And then I'm going to share about what apps we're using as a business and what we're doing for our clients. And we, yeah, we gained about 100 grand worth of work within
That's
7, 8
amazing.
months.
That's absolutely amazing. And
Yeah,
that's what I want people to get from this, that I want them to be inspired by you, to understand that your story and journey isn't typical, or what we're led to believe is typical, which is a load of rubbish.
yeah,
Because how your journey is the most important part. It's not the destination, is it? And so I want people listening to think, do you know what? I can do it. If these two idiots can do it, so can I. And
yeah.
that you don't have to be like everybody else. You
No, you
don't have to
don't.
follow the norms or stereotypes. You can
Yeah,
break the mold and follow in your footsteps and
yeah.
just be yourself. It's so important, isn't it?
It's so true. So when I became a non-executive director on a board, right? Someone said to me, "You need to get on a board and be a non-exec director and help them with their strategy." 4 years ago, I'd have been like, "Well, I did." Someone asked me. I was like, "No."
You've been like, what do I know?
Yes,
Yeah.
honestly, but I know deep down I have so much to bring to a table. This is the
Yeah.
weirdest thing. And I had to go on these, well, I didn't have to. I applied to go on these boards to get it so I can prove that I deserve a space. And when you meet other people, you realize, God, I am good. Actually, I've got this brain that can think outside the box. And I brought the ideas and they were listening, and then it just had a bit more of a knock on effect. And
It's
it's
like,
been an incredible experience, like for me, personal development wise. But I
that's so
also,
cool.
I'm not just take, take, take. A lot of people are. They just use you or take from you. I like to make sure if I'm going to do something, I'm going to leave them feel it's worth it. I'm not just going to sit quietly and bury my head. If I'm going in on something, I want feedback. I want to know if I'm bringing something to the table. Is everything all right? Because I care. And I think that, it's been uncomfortable, but I'm so pleased I've done that side of things as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's like we just have to get out of our own way sometimes, don't we? Because the limits that we have, a lot of the time, like you talked earlier about looking inwards and not blaming other people or situations. Like, obviously, sometimes things are outside of our control,
Yeah.
but you've got to look at what you can control.
Yeah,
But I
100%.
think you get caught up in your own head and you limit yourself, and then it's when you step out and you realize, actually, do you know what? I know more than these people, but you would never realize that. So Vicky, who
Yeah.
works at Fresh, who manages the team, she's recently started a degree apprenticeship, and she had a bit of imposter syndrome because a lot of the people on there from bigger businesses, but like it's leadership and management training. She won't mind me sharing this.
Nice. Nice.
And she's come off some of the calls she's had with the other delegates, and she's like, "Do you know what? I went in there thinking we were rubbish, we were small, we're not going to know anything." And she's like, "We are so much further on than a lot of these bigger businesses
Wow.
and than I ever thought we were. And I know so much more than I ever realized." I'm like, "Yes, go on, Vicky."
Brilliant.
Because you just assume that you're not as good. And I think as women, we do that more, sadly.
We do.
And
100%.
we need to push ourselves out of our comfort zone more and into new situations, because then you realize, actually, do you know what? I know a lot of stuff and I'm really good. And
Yeah.
and then you
Exactly.
just rise and start shining brighter.
Yeah.
But if you don't put yourself in those situations, that would never happen. And it takes courage and guts.
Yeah.
To,
And there's numerous businesses now that I've advised, that have grown and developed and changed and adapted. And confidence comes from evidence as well. So you
yeah.
can fake it till you make it to some degree,
Yeah.
but do need the evidence. And it's like,
It's just
well,
validation, isn't it? The
yeah,
evidence. It validates you and pushes you further.
yeah.
So yeah, fake and make we all need an element of that to get
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And I agree. And people exaggerate stories and we say, they may have gained one client, but they're telling everyone they gained five. Yes, there are all that out there. And that's why social media worries me a little bit in a way, because the disheartened business owners, when they see someone else in their industry absolutely hitting a million turnover in the first year, and you just got to take it with a pinch of
I
salt.
know. Yeah.
And
It's
luckily
so
I know a
hard.
bit about numbers myself, so I know.
My one of my good friends always tells me that comparison is a thief of joy, and I'm just keep in that in my head, and like we'll get there, and we'll get there in our own way when the time is right. We just
Yeah,
got to learn and keep pushing, and yeah,
yeah.
understanding the numbers is so important.
Do
You
you
know
ever have
that
a business
better than
coach?
most. Say that again.
You ever had a business coach?
Yes, yeah, I have had a business coach. Have you?
No, but what did you think?
We still work with her now. She's
Okay.
been absolutely amazing throughout the business, all kinds of different areas she's supported through, and I don't know. We don't think we would have been able to do a lot of we've achieved without her pushing us, rooting for us, questioning us, telling us
Right.
when she thinks we're doing something stupid or we're missing a trick,
Yeah,
and direct chat. There's no fluff with Paula. She
yeah,
says it how it is.
yeah,
She's the one that pushed us into using LinkedIn. She said, "This is an untapped channel. You need to use it, and you need to be doing videos."
So you've been
Dragged
with
us
her 8
kicking,
years?
yeah, dragging us kicking and screaming to it. And look at it now. Like the business wouldn't be where it is without LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah, it's so good that you've been using. Yeah, interestingly, I have toyed with the idea. It's gonna take someone very special. They've got I know this sounds really young. I don't know if I dare say it like that. I don't mean it in an ego way, but they've got to be really good in business, and I know that they've made money for me to use somebody. Is that really bad?
No, I don't think so. Because at the beginning, it's different because I never run a business. So you might need someone just to help you at the beginning, and your needs change because you elevate, you level up. And so
Yeah.
you need to, you might have needed a different business coach at the beginning,
Yeah,
but to the one that you might want now, would be totally different.
yeah.
But I don't think that's bad to say. I mean, that's what you want and that's what you need. Like,
Yeah, it'll
that's
make me
just
sick
fact,
though,
isn't
because it's
it?
like, yeah, they're gonna make me feel a little bit like, right, let's do this, let's do that. And they've experienced it.
Yeah.
And that's why I know I can help others because I've experienced it. I can be there through the highs and lows of like what's happening. And I put I what I say is what I do. So I don't just say something to somebody and make it up and hope for the best. I'll say this is because I've done this sort of thing.
Yeah. Tried
And
and tested.
there's so much value in that.
And can you explain a little bit of, we've talked a lot about LinkedIn. Can you talk about how the other elements of how you marketed your business that you'd recommend, and any like pros and cons that you've experienced from marketing? Because you've really opened up personally. People all don't always like that. There's always going to be haters, and know that from experience. But
Oh
what
yeah.
have there been any pros and cons to marketing the business? Obviously, we know what the pros are to a
Yeah.
degree. We've talked about them a little bit, but
Yeah. You want to be getting a bit of you want to be getting a bit of negativity, if I'm honest. I know that sounds bizarre, but to get a bit of negativity, sometimes you've got to be like controversial can be a case of you prefer chocolate ice cream to bloody vanilla nowadays. You know what I mean? So you've got to own your stuff and don't be afraid to say what you prefer in a business model with the way you invoice, the way you think about business, because you'll always get someone that's the opposite. So if they just turn back, I remember doing it, talking about filters on social media. I never filter anything. Good lighting can filter for you anyway, but
yeah,
I don't. And I remember doing it on my LinkedIn and Facebook. So the way I did my social media was make them very uniform. So I had the same profile picture across all profiles, and I put similar content, tweaked it slightly across all my channels. So I did the same post on LinkedIn to Facebook. So Facebook's where my old friends, my old school friends were, some ex-partners potentially looking through somebody else, people I hadn't seen for years. Anyway, I put it on there as well. And then this girl did a whole post of her own, basically taking the mick out of mine, saying if I want to filter, she's still friends with me. And I should have deleted. This was about 4 years ago. If I want to filter, that's up to me. And I felt sick. And I did it on a
oh,
Saturday, which ruined my whole day and night.
no.
Yeah, no, because I felt like I'd offended her. I felt really bad. Why did I say that out loud? Why? It is
You're
okay that people filter. But then I thought, well, no, my
you
messaging is don't filter.
you're you weren't telling people it's terrible to filter. You were just saying that you
No.
didn't do it. I remember it, and
Do you remember it?
yeah, because always remember that you say you don't filter,
Yeah.
you don't need to wear makeup, you don't filter your video. You are who you are, and I really think that stands out about you. And really, going back to what we say about looking inwards and choices, she's chosen to be offended by that.
I know.
And
And do
that's
a
not
whole
that's not
post.
on you.
And then the other month, she did a no filter, no makeup post because she's using the new Tropic products or whatever. She says, "Oh, new
Interesting.
products and not even filtering or fresh face," and she looked amazing. And I just had a little like,
Yeah. Oh, here we are now. Come
yeah,
full
people
circle.
change. So you've got
Yeah.
to be you've got to go through that. I've had one on LinkedIn where a guy basically took the mick out of me. Someone called me ugly, big nose, and if you've got to allow it to ruin you for an hour or two because it will. You can't
Yeah.
just go, "Oh, I'm not bothered," and move on
Yeah.
with your day. Own that it upset you, and then move on quickly. Allow yourself some time to go reflect on it, get all those feelings out. You think about all the positive comments because we're always honing on the negative, and move on. And if you get an opinion wrong, because I changed my mind, sometimes I've done an opinion a year before and then thought, oh my God, I've changed. They've inspired me with their comment by saying, well, have you thought about it this way, sort of thing? And allow that change in you and that, it's good.
Yeah, but it's growth, isn't it? It is all growth, and if you don't never get another opinion on what you're doing, how are you ever going to learn anything? And I think being open to it, I think, yeah, how it's done sometimes can be hurtful, but it will plant if the seed needs to be planted for you to change. It will be planted.
Yeah.
You will get over the initial hurtfulness of the comment potentially, but you're like, actually, do you know what? They could have a point. I mean, they could have said it in a really nice way, and they're not a nice person. However,
Mm.
underlying all of that is something maybe useful to me. So it's being
Yeah.
open to it.
Yeah.
Um,
What do you
you know,
think to AI with all the stuff on LinkedIn and social media that they've copy and pasted AI?
I hate it. Honestly, I wish people would just rather not. I'd rather people not comment on my post than comment with an
Yeah.
AI generated because it's so obvious. And then one guy the other week just had left on the top bit where ChatGPT's gone, here's a more formal, softer sounding. And I'm like,
No!
oh my God. If you're going to use it, at least copy and paste it properly or tweak it. But I'm
Oh,
like, I
gross.
I don't understand why people are using it. I might have asked ChatGPT for some points around,
Oh,
I
yeah,
wanna talk
100%.
about this,
Yep,
can you get me some stats or
yep.
whatever, but I would never ask it to write me a post because
No.
what if you can't write your own post, why are you posting? And if you're getting it who's got time to get it to write responses to comments and
No, that's the responses. I use Chat AI a lot. It's
yeah,
brilliant for your business, like 100%. But please, you're not using it right if you just use it for its write me a post on LinkedIn about
yeah.
recruitment, then you use it with the pointers and all this and copy and
Oh,
paste
yeah.
just it's lazy marketing and it's really stand out and people will avoid that because it'll be
It's so
like,
obvious
it's so
when people are
obvious.
doing it, yeah. I think it's amazing as a tool to help you, not
Yeah,
not replace things. I
not
think
replace
it
you.
it can save time and improve efficiencies in all kinds of areas, particularly on, with your marketing, but it should never replace who you are, your authentic true self and the human element because
Element.
people notice it and then they just move on because they're not engaged with the content.
Exactly that, exactly. And that's why I think a nice selfie or a bloody picture of you in the office or something like that helps a post as well.
Yeah, I mean, people. Was it you who covered your face up? Because
Oh,
people
yeah,
are
it
like,
was
why do
me.
you have to post a picture? I mean, I've done one with a bag over my.
Oh, have you?
It was an M&S bag. I cut eye holes in it.
Good. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, they're like, why is it? This is not relevant. This picture of you, wherever I was, isn't relevant to what you're saying. I'm like, well, if I went networking, I wouldn't walk in with my head covered up or turn my
Exactly.
back to you while I talk to you because it would be really weird. Like, why is it
Yeah,
different online?
I know, because I did a post the other day and I did feel nervous about posting it, which is why I know I should, was in a nice dress, because I don't wear them
Yeah.
often, so I did that, and then talked about age of 40 and the way you feel and this, that, the other, which I know will hit some business women, and a
I think
guy
I saw that
commented,
post on Facebook.
"Yeah,
Yeah.
this post is meant to be for Facebook," and I says, "Oh, look,"
Yeah.
so I looked at his profile, and I was like, "Oh, I've just looked at your profile, you don't really post, shall I do that then?" It's like, why would you
Yeah,
just post nothing?
I know. I've said that to someone. I'm like, well, once you start posting yourself, then come back with and comment on mine. But otherwise, you've got can't have an opinion if you don't do it yourself.
It's honestly so true, isn't it? But point being, if you're posting but you're making money, yes. If you're posting, you're not, and you're a bit wishy-washy with it's your messaging, your values, and you're not sure what you're after. I've learnt that.
Yeah. It is weird, isn't it, how what you learn, and you only learn it from consistently doing it, then reviewing what you're doing, and don't just freak out if it doesn't work for a week. Trust the process, and don't stop doing it just because it gets difficult. Because obviously, then you're never going to learn. You're never going to get anything from it if you stop it. But yeah, if you're doing it for a long time, or review it as a quarter or a 6 month. If it's not going well, then you need to make a change. It's like your sales figures, isn't it? If you look at it from a quarterly perspective, because sometimes you might have a rubbish month,
Yeah,
but as a quarter overall, a longer period, you're actually
yeah,
doing okay.
yeah.
Don't just freak out because you've had a quiet month and change everything. Review it over a longer period. I think it's similar with, well, your marketing, your sales and marketing dovetail together anyway.
Mm,
So, but I think people think posting on LinkedIn and posting selfies, however derogatory they want to come at it, they forget that it's marketing.
I know,
And
I
that
know.
they are engaged in the marketing, whether they like it or not. The
Yeah,
marketing has worked because it's invoked a reaction and a response, which is
yeah,
essentially what it's there for.
exactly that. Do you offer a retainer model then at all for your recruitment?
Yeah, so we do it project by project, where we kind of look at, it's because we've got a time-based model, so we'd look at an individual vacancy or vacancies as a project, but for ongoing growth over a period of time, we would we'd run it as a retainer model.
Oh, right, that's good to know because a lot of recruiters just do it as a one-off when they start sort of thing. That's the traditional model, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, no, we want ongoing support with our customers like you want them to feel comfortable,
Yeah,
really genuinely help them in the way that they need, not just do it because that's how it's always been done, which I think is similar in your sector.
yeah,
Like I've used a number of accountants over the years, and they're all very similar. And my friend set up a business, and she does ours now, and very much like you, just tries to step out and do it differently.
yeah,
And that's essentially how we run the recruitment. And
yeah,
but I'm yet to find businesses that kind of do something different on a marketing perspective.
yeah,
And
100%.
you said something similar, interesting to me at the beginning of this call.
What did I
Before we
say?
press record, you've actually started a marketing
Marketing.
business.
Yeah, so it is a little bit under the radar because we're working with 3 businesses. Future Cloud, obviously.
Obs.
My husband's businesses, so it's Paddle and Code, but we do a podcast editing and we do YouTube editing.
Oh, amazing.
So we do a lot and we can give strategy to other clients. We're in the middle of recruiting somebody. So then it will give us more time to get more clients because we're doing it with purpose, not just we can do social media posts. So
Yeah.
that's where it's very unique and I'm very excited to work with ambitious businesses.
I think you'll because you've done it yourself. You've tried and tested it across platforms. You know what works for you. You know what doesn't work. You've learned a lot, and I think bringing that kind of completely different way of doing it internally for a business, and you've tested it so much on yourself so openly, in all areas of your life. I think bringing that different mindset to a marketing business would be really useful, because I think people are marketers and then they might have worked in a business doing marketing for a business, then they set up a marketing business. And I
Hmm.
think the way that you've done it, you've got totally different kind of experience to bring to it,
Yeah,
if that makes sense? So I'm looking
100%.
forward to seeing how that goes and maybe chatting to you about it separately.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Um,
that's fine. Who does your marketing now then? How do you work that? Just you two?
we do it ourselves. Rachel, who was helped you organise the
Yes.
podcast, she does a hybrid role at Fresh. So we took our marketing in house probably like 18 months to 2 years ago,
Yep.
because we just one. I think the marketing has been what's allowed us to shine as a recruitment business, and how we have done so well. We've stayed the course through multiple challenges over the last
Yeah,
10 years. We'll
God.
be 10 in May,
Especially for
and
you guys.
thank you. And we've just
Amazing.
tried to show people what we stand for, because people have such a negative stereotype with recruitment. They think they hate recruiters, we only care about money, and etc etc, and that is true for some of the industry, not all. And so the marketing was really important to us, that we need to show what we stand for and show people how we do it differently, and why we do it, why do we get out of bed in the morning, what do we care about. And the marketing was really important to do that. And we started with we did a little bit of ourselves to get going. We've always used the pugs, that because everyone loved a pug. So we
Yeah.
started with the dog. And you look back at some of the old posts and I cringe, but I'm like, at least we were doing it, because so many businesses in our sector don't really
No,
market on social media. They just rely
no.
on cold calling and the website.
Yeah.
Um,
The
but we were
traditional
like,
way.
we really wanted to take control of the narrative and really push the passion and the soul of the business through the marketing, which is why we decided to take it in house. And a bit like you, we've tried different things. Some things have absolutely bombed and been a car crash, and other things have done really well. Like, I do think the TikToks help because I think they
Yeah,
just show they so I suppose what they show is they sneakily show people our office without
yeah,
realising that people are seeing our environment, and they see
yeah,
all the team, and they see that, we are daft. Like you said, you used the word daft before, and that you
yeah,
don't want people to think that your daftness is a weakness.
yeah.
Similarly, but I think it's important to show that you don't take yourself too seriously.
100% agree with that. Do you get leads from TikTok, do you find?
No, I don't think we get the leads from TikTok. I mean, we've got 2 sets of clients really, because I think the TikToks are more appealing to candidates than clients. But then
Good.
I've actually won business off the back of me taking my TikTok and putting it on LinkedIn.
Oh, okay.
So, which really someone we weren't connected. He never liked to post, and he directly messaged me. He's like, and about my Kim Kardashian videos. I mean, it won a massive piece of business, and I was like, that was insane for me that it
Brilliant.
was that post. It wasn't
Yeah.
talking about recruitment. I was pretending to be Kim K, walking around my office being stupid, and that was what won us the work.
Yeah, I've had stuff like that where I've done a random post and they said they've been watching me for a while and that's the post that did it. And just, sometimes it takes up to 2 years for someone to be watching for a while, for
Yeah,
sure, to build
the
that
lurkers.
trust, the lurkers, to build the trust. That's why it's the long game. It's not the short game for me.
Well, that's it. It's all about the impressions and not the click, not the likes, because it's the what often it's the people that would really work with you that won't publicly engage, but they're watching, and when the time is right, they will get in touch.
Yeah, 100%. They do.
Oh, Francesca, I could talk to you all day.
No, I feel
And I
that.
think we need to start drawing it to a close. But what
Yeah.
would you say? So a lot of people struggle with marketing. Everyone's scared to post online. What would you say your top tips for people are who are worried about marketing or promoting themselves or their business?
I think go back to basics and really think about your audience. What if you have you got a niche? Think about your why first. Get that right. Then you can do content towards that clientele. What do they look like? What do they feel like? What are the problems they're having? And I would start off writing how you solve their problems or do an introduction about yourself as well. So come on, tell them about yourself. And then the next one can be what problems you solve. That type of content and regularly. So I would say do 3 month stints of the same kind of content, like your Tuesday videos, and stick to that really nice and uniformed and neat. Because it can
That's
get
a really
quite
good tip.
chaotic if you're that way inclined. "Oh, I've got an idea," because this isn't what I used to do. "Oh, I've got an idea. I'm just gonna post something today and just ramble out it out." It's like, well, you've just made noise. So you've got to be really careful of that, because I would even say for a business, if you've done a lot of chaotic stuff, I'd stop and go, "Right, pause on that," because bad's gonna happen if you come off LinkedIn for a couple of weeks. Really own your strategy and think about that, then come back on.
Yeah, that is a really good tip. I think because people, I think, probably look at our content, and people that follow us probably are used to what we do on certain days. Like Monday, I will always talk about my weekend, something really soft. Friday is usually a TikTok or again something a bit silly, and then in the middle, it's a recruitment and business sandwich. And then
Yeah,
we'll talk about how I solve a
yeah,
problem, one of our USPs, a success story with a client or a piece of advice or something like
yeah.
that. But so it is strategic. I follow a pattern, but
That's good.
people probably don't necessarily realize that it is strategic. It might seem silly and positive and energized and similar to you,
Yeah.
but you will follow a pattern and a strategy. You'll
Mm.
probably know what days you're going to post, what kinds of things, and like you
Yeah.
said with your Friday videos or your Tuesday videos.
And 100%. And it's a lot of stuff you can do internally. So it's not necessarily just social medias, your referrals in house. Are you asking clients if they know anyone that can work with you? Google reviews, sharing those Google reviews, putting them on Instagram, having a landing page in different places. Are
Okay.
your team
That's
representing you in the
really
right
good.
way for what you're after? Because
Yeah,
they will
very
follow your
important.
lead. They will follow your lead, remember, and we don't necessarily want them to.
Yeah, they've got to have their own voices, haven't they? And helping them
Yeah.
figure that out has been one of the most interesting things for me is that we have the brand and the brand voice of Fresh, our values and what we stand for and who we are. But then within under that brand umbrella, I suppose, they all have their own personal brands and their own individual voices, and
Mm,
helping them figure that out has been amazing and joyful to watch them building confidence and who they are. But
love
obviously
that.
making sure that you've got what they do upholds well lifts upholds the business really.
Yeah, and it's probably having those, like, conversations internally as well, like, are these posts doing well? Are we gaining followers? We getting leads
Yeah.
from it? Any inbox? Are they inboxing? People forget about outreach.
Oh my god, yeah. They just think everything just comes to you, and you're like,
Yeah,
no, you've got to start conversations.
yeah. But I'll be honest, my outreach has been pretty poor. There's been probably 10 I've done over the years, which is very well, I'm grateful that it's come from referrals, social media, and all those things. But definitely more outreach, even if it's not me, one of your team members, because I
One
don't want the
hundred
leads to
percent.
come to me necessarily.
Well,
Um,
yeah. You've got to look at why are you doing it, and who's the best person in the business to be doing certain things,
mhm.
and
Do you
then you
find
make the plan, don't you?
who's your thought leader in your business?
Who's the thought leader? I would say probably multiple people about because there's different thoughts and they
Yeah,
talk about different things. I think Emily is really campaigning across the parents
yeah,
campaign like she's I think she's seen as a thought leader there because she's so open about having
yeah.
kids and what it's like to run a business with kids. I would say
It's
I'm one of the
great.
thought leaders, but then I would say a lot of the team are in their own way because they tend to talk about different things, and
Yeah.
also two different people. Like some of the team are specifically directing their thoughts to candidates, and then some of the
Yes.
team are specifically directing thoughts to clients and potential clients,
Yeah, no, that's
business
it.
people.
Yeah. I'd also, this is really random, but I would do it to the recruitment industry as a whole,
Okay.
of like what's changing, what's going on, how people can have better recruitment systems, why everyone will still need a recruiter and they're not just doing it their own way, the different styles that are out there, and why you're different as a recruitment agency, because then
Yeah.
you're getting other recruiters on board. And I would collaborate more with other recruiters if I were you.
Yeah, we do collaborate. I think a lot of them don't like us, and we get a lot of hate on our posts because of the way that we do things differently. I think they see it as a slur, and I'm like, I'm not slating what you do. We've just chosen to do it differently,
Yeah,
and that's it. That's all it
yeah,
is. But yeah, sometimes we do get a bit. There's been a couple of posts where I feel a bit ganged up on, but I'm
yeah.
like, this is fine. I'm making waves. I'm disrupting the industry, and that's okay.
Disrupting the industry, I love that. And yeah, you need more of that, because I think even like London, they've got recruitment agencies, and why can't they use you guys?
Like, well, exactly, yeah.
And they
Have
might be different
oh,
prices.
100 we could put the world to rights,
I
Francesca. We
know.
both need to meet up and
Yeah,
have a look.
we will at some point. We will.
And so to finish it up, well, I've got a fresh and stale game to play, but to finish it off, I just bring it back to finance in like one kind of like sentence. What's the biggest financial mistake you think small business owners are making right now and don't even realize it?
Not looking at the numbers regularly themselves and just hope for the best when they pass it to their accountant. Is that
Yeah,
have I hit a
million.
nerve?
But that's so simple.
Have
But
I
you see
hit
it all
a
the time. When
nerve?
you watch Dragon's Den and like, right, what your numbers are like? Oh, I don't know. I'm like, you've literally gone on TV to sell your business. Like, why don't you know your numbers?
Yeah, so true. So true.
So we always finish the podcast with a little game. It's called Fresh or Stale. So I'm going to say five. Sorry, not three. I don't know where that came from. Words or phrases. You need to tell me whether you think it's fabulous and fresh or stale and why. Are you
What?
ready?
You're scaring me now. I don't get the game. Go on then.
Right, you will. So if I say, so let's start with High Rocks. So is that
Fresh.
fresh or stale? Yeah. Because
Well, it's
how many High Rocks
fresh.
have you done now?
I've done 6, but I've been injured for the last 18 months. And I'm still getting out of that injury, so it is kind of stale, isn't
Oh
it?
my
But it's
God,
fresh
yeah,
because
but you
High Rocks is brilliant community.
right, yeah, so it's fresh, but you're stale.
I'm very stale right now. And if you want to follow High Rocks workouts, that's my husband's page
Oh, right, I will give him a follow.
on Instagram.
Um,
He's got a lot of following. Anyway,
Next one, matcha.
stale. Coffee all the
Tastes
way.
like grass.
Yeah, not for me.
Mini eggs.
Fresh, warmed in the microwave for 1 minute.
In the microwave?
Yeah, and it just bursts into your mouth.
Oh, yeah, I'll have to try that. Yorkshire?
Tea?
I don't know what that yeah,
Yorkshire.
coffee.
Stale. Give
I
me
love that you've
Dubai.
gone tea.
Give me Dubai.
And finally, LinkedIn videos.
Fresh.
Yeah,
And more of them. So
yeah.
that we can get rid of AI looking content. Be
Yes,
human.
please. We need more real content.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
And if you want some help with that, let me know.
Oh my goodness.
We can
Message
edit.
Francesca yeah, you can find Francesca on LinkedIn for Francesca McClory.
McClory. Yes.
Where else can people find you? What's your website?
The Future Cloud website, but I haven't got my own website yet. But Francesca
Ooh, watch
McClory
this
across
space.
Instagram, YouTube. I do my YouTube shorts. I do some YouTube videos. I'm building into my YouTube more, obviously on LinkedIn. So Francesca McClory, should search it and you'll find me on different platforms.
Yeah, really similar for me. If you've landed on this podcast and you don't know who we are, we're Fresh Perspective Resourcing. You can Google that. We are a recruitment business in Lancashire, doing things differently, disrupting the industry like Francesca is in hers. And I'm Laura Leyland. You can also find me on LinkedIn. And if you like this podcast, please follow, please leave a review, and tell other people about it. Thank you so much for your time today, Francesca.
I
I've
loved it.
absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it's been good. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome, and I look forward to catching up soon.
Yeah, take care of yourself, Laura, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.